Chelsea's Fame Academy producing hit after hit. We could see, well, not just Tomori and Abraham today, but also Christensen, Ruben Loftus-Cheek on his way back. Mason Mount might play today after that ankle injury in the week. And good news for Chelsea fans, Callum Hudson-Odoi played for the under-23s yesterday and scored as well. Jose, can you understand why there's such a buzz among Chelsea fans right now about all these young players coming through together?
They're good players. I think that's the most important thing. And you see the results. Of course, the results are not the most important thing, but you see the results of Chelsea youth teams over the past, I don't know, but maybe 6, 7, 8 years, and they win everything. It's for some reason. The players are very good players, and the club is working for many years very well at that level. And even the loan system and the way they did it was with a purpose, was with a clear objective. Looking immediately, for example, at Christensen, the 2 years of Christensen in Germany, they were a fantastic loan. Some of the boys, they don't develop enough, and the decision is to sell and reinvest that money. But their loaning system was sometimes criticized because of the huge number of players they had.
30 or more.
But now you see the result of their work. I think they did it very well.
So has the talent always been there? It's only now they're actually getting a chance.
I don't think so. I think the talent now has a certain age. You know, when you have the right players at a right level of performance, that's fine. But we knew at Chelsea that it would take some years for these boys, because everything was done really, really well over the past years. Chelsea had very good people working at the academy level, recruitment level, the clear definition of the objectives, the training methods, the coaches that were taking care of the development of the kids, the loan system, the control of the loan system. They did very, very well. So in this moment, these kids that on my time they were, I don't know, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, now they are on the 20s, on the 22s, and good players, of course.
It's not just Chelsea that are doing it, though. We've heard about Manchester United already. We can see the most minutes played by under-21 players this season going into this weekend. Norwich out in front. They've turned to youth, or relied on youth in their promotion last year, and they're sticking with that plan. But Manchester United, Chelsea and Arsenal, 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Why do you think we're seeing that trend, particularly this season, Graham?
First, going back to Chelsea, you know, they have won 5 out of the last 6 years, the FA Youth Cup. You know, that's the big thing if you're a kid to win that. I mean, Abramovich from very early on wanted to develop a youth system. You know, when you look, so he's been here 16 years, is it? Over 16 years. They've not
started with the facilities.
Yeah, but it's not
started on the investment on the facilities,
but
and after
through,
that,
have they?
Everything went well.
They haven't had too many through. You know, not too many that's come through if he's been here 16 years.
But why is that?
Well, I think because they have been a buying club. You know, I would suggest at the start of the season, if they didn't have a transfer ban and Mr. Abramovich was still as hungry as he was on day one, I think they would have spent again, and maybe we wouldn't be having this conversation. And then you say, well, why? You pointed to that stat there. Why are those clubs? The player has to be good enough. It doesn't. You hear about his age. But if a player's good enough, you know. You get a feel for it, a real feel for it. When that player has come through the system and you throw him in the first team and you're playing a practice game, and all of a sudden he's dealing with that, and he's making some of the big players look second best. You know you've got one, but that's a rarity. It's a rarity. So hopefully these young men that are getting through will become established players. I think for Arsenal, not the biggest spenders. For Chelsea, obviously the embargo that's on there. And who else is on there?
Arsenal as well. Manchester United and Norwich out.
Well, we know where Manchester are right now. You know, Man United, you know, are looking to promote because they've spent enormous money over the last 5 years. So I think it's quite a natural thing to happen.
Does it feel like, though, Roy, because Liverpool and Manchester City seem that far ahead, that the others are having to do it a different way almost?
Well, I think United have always been good at producing young players. I think United, obviously, that's just a stat for this year. If you look at United probably over the last 5 or 10 years, there's always been, I suppose, 1 or 2 players coming through at all the big clubs, whether they'll make it or not. It's just every now and again you get a freak situation. Maybe like Chelsea at the moment. you get 5 or 6 lads coming through, but that's been forced a little bit. And these lads aren't 17 or 18, they've been out on loan over the last year or two. It's not as if they're kids just come straight from the youth team. They've gone out and kind of learned their trade.
It's a process.
And the opportunities come. Listen, we all need a bit of luck in your career, and these players know it, the Chelsea lads in particular, obviously it's still early days, but they've had a decent start. And what you see, particularly in the interview there, what it means to them, I think when lads come to an academy and they get a chance at their first team, they look hungry and look ready for it. And these boys have started well, but of course, there's a long way to go yet. You know, they're still learning. I know, it's September. Graham keeps reminding me. I appreciate that. But there's a long way yet to go. And you're not about these young players. And then again, you're getting tested every week, particularly for the big clubs. Smaller clubs, you get a bit more patience. But the bigger clubs, the fans, the manager, listen, we're all impatient. You have to hit the ground running. And these kids will be tested again. I say kids, they're 2021. They'll be tested again, even more so against Liverpool.